The behind-the-scenes lobbying efforts to confirm Supreme Court nominee Judge Brett Kavanaugh continue in full force. The conservative Judicial Crisis Network today says it's making another advertising buy, this time for $1.4 million in support of Kavanaugh. Joining me now is Kerri Kupec. She's a spokesperson for the White House team working on the confirmation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Kerri, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on.
Judge Kavanaugh said that one of his first judicial heroes was former Chief Justice William Rehnquist, a conservative, the person who provided one of the dissenting votes on Roe versus Wade. What do you say to Democrats who fear that Kavanaugh could provide the swing vote to overturn Roe versus Wade?
His record speaks for itself. Anybody can go back and take a look at those. Those are public documents. And he does list Rehnquist and Scalia as his heroes, and they were originalists. They were textualists. They looked back at the Constitution and looked at those words as having meaning, legal meaning, and they understood their roles as justices, which is to apply the law, interpret the law, but certainly not to make law.
What about overturning Roe versus Wade?
Well, the president didn't ask his position on that. And the president also made pretty clear in the rollout speech when he was introducing Judge Kavanaugh the other night that he was looking on that list he put out, which is one of the most transparent lists, I think, in United States history. He was looking for someone and looking for people who were committed to the words of the Constitution. This was a very transparent process. There was no litmus test. And Judge Kavanaugh's record does demonstrate a commitment to precedent, but also a respect to the government's permissible interest in protecting unborn life.
But we do have to say all nominees who are mentioned are pro-life. Social conservatives believe that he is not conservative enough on those issues. How do you assuage those people?
At the time when President Trump announced his intent to nominate Judge Gorsuch, they had similar concerns. And I think that most conservatives are quite pleased with how Justice Gorsuch has performed on the bench.
How so?
Well, specifically, he's been part of the majority in 3 pivotal religious liberty cases.
Trinity Lutheran,
Masterpiece Cake Shop,
which ruled in favor of the baker who did not want to serve a same-sex couple.
And create a custom wedding cake to celebrate the religious ceremony of marriage. And NIFLA, which said that, no, the state of California cannot force pro-life pregnancy centers to advertise for abortion.
Should questions of faith be off limits in these hearings? We saw the confirmation hearings of Judge Amy Coney Barrett, where they said the dogma lives loudly within you.
Right. That was truly an unfortunate thing to say. Those questions are inappropriate. The questions that should be asked are ones about judicial philosophy. How do you apply law? How do you think about the Constitution?
We know from his financial disclosures that he racked up a pretty good amount of debt on 3 credit cards and a personal loan, anywhere between $60,000 to $200,000. Was that reckless behavior?
No, of course not. And I think the disclosures also showed that he paid it off. And I think it had something to do with some Nats tickets and things like that. But again, if this is the best that they can find on Judge Kavanaugh, we're doing pretty well, and rightfully so.
Another topic receiving a lot of scrutiny is Judge Kavanaugh's earlier writings, where he says that investigations into sitting presidents, can be distracting. And he also says that it can hurt their ability to govern. So what does Judge Kavanaugh need to do to convince critics who say that his confirmation could protect presidents from prosecution?
Well, first of all, the president certainly didn't ask him for his position on that. What's very important for your viewers to understand is that in those writings, he proposed a legislative fix to the independent counsel statute. He was not taking a position at all on the constitutionality of investigating a sitting president. And that's an open-ended question that is widely debated among constitutional legal scholars.
Kerri Kupec, spokesperson for the White House, on the team working on the confirmation of Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.